Hey Tim, talking about 3 animated Christmas films, all based off of classic cartoons. And the names of those 3 films are He-Man She-Ra, A Christmas Special, Yogi's First Christmas, and A Flintstone's Christmas. First up is He-Man and She-Ra, A Christmas Special. No joke, I love this movie. This is without a doubt one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies ever. And like, I have no nostalgia for He-Man or She-Ra. I've never watched any of their things. I know my older brother had a bunch of the toys and I remember playing with them a couple of times, but they were his toys. I didn't really play with them, plus they're really bulky. And like, I went into this with pretty low expectations, but was just blown away by everything about it. Like, it's ridiculous and absurd and silly, but like, it's trying to be those things and it nails it every single time. This movie is hilarious and perfect, but it also nails the Christmas spirit so well. There is so much Christmas spirit in this movie. It is overflowing with it. And oh my God, the ending. I did not think they were gonna go there, and then they went there and I was just elated. It was so great. Also, the pacing is just like, it goes from one thing to the next thing, but it's not like overwhelming and just like, yeah, let's move along to the next thing. This is great. There's some kids that show up and they're like, you don't know what Christmas is? Which was hilarious. And they started to explain Christmas and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so boring. But then they just cut away and I'm like, yes, perfect, because we know what Christmas is. We don't need to get explained what Christmas is. Look at you, movie, being so smart. And like, it just subverts your expectations all the time. Like, one of my favorite moments from the movie, She-Ra is standing in front of basically just a giant transformer and she whips out her sword and you're like, yeah, she's gonna do something cool with her sword, just like some great slash and stuff. Nope, a laser shoots out of her sword and it's incredible. It also doesn't shoot out of the sword where you expect it to, which is also incredible. Oh, the premise? I should probably say the premise. Through some convoluted means, some Earth kids come to the He-Man planet and then the bad guys are like, no, they have too much good spirit. We need to stop them from existing or something. And then stuff happens. The premise is great. It goes from like so many seemingly random things, but it all actually ties back together really well. And I love everyone gets their time to shine of like the main cast. He-Man's got his nice thing. She-Ra's got a really fun side story. Both of the main bad guys do. The little floaty wizard dude is kind of the main character at times. He was my least favorite, but he turned me around eventually. You don't know who Santa Claus is? Brilliant, brilliant writing, 10 out of 10. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is perfection, and I mean that so sincerely. It is magic incarnate, and it's on YouTube for free, only 44 minutes long, so like, it breezes by. Also, the animation, like, it is kind of cheap at times, but like, honestly, it was pretty. I enjoyed the animation. I enjoyed everything about this movie. It's incredible. Please watch this amazing movie. It is gonna become a Christmas staple for me from now on. Next up is Yogi's First Christmas. The Yogi refers to Yogi Bear, who, if you're unfamiliar, is a bear who lives in Jellystone National Park and loves to steal/eat picnic baskets. And you know, he's a bear, so like, he's always hibernating during Christmas time, so he always misses it every year. But this year he gets woken up by some noise and he's like, let's do Christmas. And then he does. And it's fine. I think the idea is not bad. I liked that him and the other bears were constantly sleepy. I thought that was A, just a good joke, but B, nice realism. I didn't like that Yogi was still constantly hungry and constantly eating, because like, this is the time of the year where he's not that. And like, it would have been such a great joke too, to be like, oh, Yogi's not hungry. And everyone's just like super weirded out by the fact that he's not hungry. Because it's like one of his core traits, and it makes sense for him to not have it suddenly, and like, that'd be a fun thing to play with. The music was pretty good. I liked what they were going for, but the movie itself felt very repetitive. It was just like, there's this rich lady who would find herself in like some peril, and then Yogi would just kind of inadvertently save the day, and then he'd get a promotion, and that just happened over and over and over again. You know exactly where it's going as soon as it starts, and it just kind of repeats the same story beats over and over again. And like, it's fine. If this was like 6 20-minute episodes, I think that'd be better to kind of break up the repetition. Or like, I would say this is good background noise. Like, you can put it on during your holiday festivities and you don't really have to pay attention because you know where it's gonna go after watching it for 5 minutes. And then like you can come back half an hour later and things are slightly different, but not in a surprising way. So like, yeah, it's fine. So I would recommend it, but don't get your hopes up really high with it. Like, it's a cute movie, it's just like not anything to write home about. And lastly is A Flintstone Christmas. This is a 1977 movie, and I'm fairly certain I've seen it before, but my family couldn't corroborate that fact, and I couldn't find the VHS tape at their house. But it felt very, very familiar. The basic premise is it's Christmas time and something happens to Santa, so Fred Flintstone has to take his place while they do stuff. And it's okay. I definitely like the Christmas spirit aspect to it, and there's definitely some jokes that I liked, but it was just kind of boring and not that interesting. The animation was pretty good, and I liked the end. I think my main complaint is just that it was boring. I was just so bored. Would I recommend it? I would say if you're a big fan of the Flintstones, it's worth checking out at least once. Just don't think it's gonna be the best Flintstones movie ever. I would also describe this as like a background noise movie, but this one I would recommend kind of less so than Yogi's First Christmas, just because it's, again, so boring. So yeah, it's okay. Do with that as you will. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got He-Man She-Ra, A Christmas Special, sitting at number 24 in the really like section, and it deserves that spot. And then after that is Yogi's First Christmas, sitting at number 188 in the liked category. And then bringing up the rear is A Flintstones Christmas, sitting at number 198. Also in the liked category. And this is at a total of 270 old movies so far this year.